Hello students, I hope you all are fine. In the previous video, we have studied about microorganism. I hope you have learned from that video. Now, in this video, I will cover up the remaining topics of this chapter, microorganism. The next group of microorganism is algae. Algae are a small plant-like organism without roots, stems or leaves. These have cell walls and they contain chlorophyll also. So they are able to produce food by the process of photosynthesis. These grow on wet surfaces and therefore they are also called grass of water. Algae can be unicellular or multicellular. Cleidomonas and diatoms are unicellular forms. Blue-green algae have the unique ability to fix atmospheric nitrogen. Algae also tend to develop on the walls of water tanks and swimming pools, which have not been cleaned for some time. Sometime you must have observed a green layer floating on the surface of a pond or a lake or in a stagnant water. This green layer is actually algae. Now let's discuss some benefits of algae or the different uses of algae in human lives. First is commercial products. Algal cell extracts are used to prepare many commercial products. Some red algae produce agar, a gelatin-like substance. Agar is commonly used in laboratories to prepare a culture medium for growing microorganisms. It is also used as a solidifying agent in the preparation of medicines and some food products such as puddings and jellies. Alginic acid, which is obtained from the marine algae, is used for the manufacturing paper, shaving creams, fabric paints and medicines. Kelp. A brown alga is a rich source of iodine and potassium. So these are the algae which are used in producing so many products. Silica. The cell wall of diatoms are a natural source of fine silica. Therefore, large deposits of diatom shells available in nature are used to make filters, a special kind of glasses and porcelain. Now, how we can use the algae as a food? Some algae are increasingly being used as a source of food. Many seaweeds are used as food in China and Japan. Besides, algae produce organic matter through photosynthesis, which in turn provide food to aquatic animals. So, it is also a source of food for us and for the aquatic animals. Oxygen. How it is helping us in providing the oxygen? We know that algae are plant-like organisms. They have chlorophyll in it and they carry out the process of photosynthesis for obtaining food. So, during photosynthesis, they release oxygen which is necessary for our survival. How they increase the soil fertility? Blue-green algae, which is present in the soil, can fix nitrogen gas from the atmosphere to form nitrogen compounds. These compounds mix with the soil and increase its fertility. In this respect, blue-green algae are similar to rhizobium bacteria, which are present in the root nodules of the leguminous plant. So these are the benefits of. Now, why algae is harmful for us? Algae live in ponds and freshwater lakes. You must have seen that you must have observed a green layer which is floating on the surface of some pond or lake. So what is that? That is algae. So algae live in ponds and freshwater lakes. Sometimes the organic contents and nutrient in these water bodies increase. What happened because of that? This favors excess algal growth in water. Algae utilize the oxygen present in water and thus oxygen level in the water decreases. Moreover, these algae compete with other aquatic plants to get nutrients from water. They also release toxic chemicals that kill fishes, birds and other animals. The clean water is thus turned into a stinking drain. This process of algal bloom due to increased nutrient in water is known as eutrophication. So what is eutrophication? The process in which water becomes excessively rich in nutrients, which results in increased growth of algae and deficiency of oxygen, leading to death of fishes and other aquatic animals. Because we know that aquatic animal, they utilize the oxygen which is dissolved in on water. So if this algae, they are utilizing the oxygen, they are making the water deficient of oxygen and this leads to the death of fishes and other aquatic And so these are the harmful effects of algae, or in this way the algae is harmful for our environment. Now we will study about students. Daily we all are listening this word virus. In fact, we all are locked down in our houses because of this virus. So today we will study about the microorganism, this microorganism that is virus. But first of all, we have to understand what is virus. The word virus, it actually means poisonous liquid. Viruses are the smallest microorganism. They can only be studied under an electron microscope. They are acellular. That means they do not have any of the substances present in a cell. They only contain a small nuclear material wrapped in a protein coat. Viruses cannot grow, they do not respire, feed, grow or excrete. They only Viruses cannot grow and reproduce on their own. This indicates that they are non-living. When they enter a living cell, they use the energy of the living cell to reproduce. After reproduction of many viruses, the host cell dies and bursts. The viruses spread and invade the other cells. Viruses are said to be a connecting link between living and non-living things. Now, some examples of viruses are influenza virus, HIV-1 virus, and now the latest, that is coronavirus. The coronavirus pandemic, it has completely changed our way of life, shut down entire countries and shuttered business across the globe. An initial outbreak of the disease in Wuhan, China, that began in December 2019, the coronavirus has spread to 200 countries around the world, and it is continuously killing the people and infecting the people globally. The WHO has now declared it a pandemic. This virus, it spreads from person to person through small droplets from the nose or mouth via coughing or sneezing. According to WHO, it persists on most surfaces up to several days. So in addition to directly inhaling the virus, you can become infected by touching something that has been contaminated and then touching your nose, mouth or eyes. Now the question arises, how we can prevent ourselves from this deadly virus? So we know that there is currently no vaccine to prevent COVID-19. The best way to prevent illness is to avoid being exposed to this virus. So we all should pray to God in this difficult time, and we should follow all the instructions which are given by our government. Let's talk about some other harmful viruses. Viruses, they cause various diseases and affect different organs and parts of human body. A few diseases caused by viruses are mentioned below. Polio, that is caused by a polio virus. Chickenpox, it is caused by a virus varicella zoster. Tobacco mosaic virus in tobacco plant, it is caused by tobacco mosaic virus. Measles and smallpox, they are the other viral diseases. Common cold is an infectious disease which is caused by the viruses of the rhinovirus family. AIDS, it is another deadly disease which is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus in human beings. So these viruses, they are very harmful for all the life forms. Vaccination. So before starting this topic, I want to ask you that do you know what is immunity? Yes, the ability of one's body to resist a disease is known as immunity. Immunity against a particular disease can be developed by a technique called vaccination. The first vaccine to be developed was against smallpox, and it was developed by Edward Jenner. Edward Jenner, he is a British doctor, discovered the vaccine for smallpox in 1798. He noticed that milkmen did not suffer from smallpox even during epidemics if they had earlier suffered from cowpox. On May 14, 1796, Dr. Jenner took cowpox matter from blisters on the arm of a milkmaid and injected that into the arm of an 8-year-old boy, James Phillips. Phillips quickly developed cowpox and recovered. On July 1, 1796, Dr. Jenner injected the same boy Phillips with smallpox, but he did not contract smallpox. He had acquired immunity against smallpox. In this way, Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine for smallpox. So, a small dose of dead and weakened disease-causing microbes, they are used to stimulate immune response in the body, that is called vaccine. When a vaccine is introduced in the body of a healthy person, it acts like antigen. The body of the person produces antibodies against these introduced microbes. These antibodies remain in our body and they protect against future infection of the same microbes. Some diseases, several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, tetanus, polio, hepatitis B, they can be prevented by vaccination. A vaccine can be either injected or can be given orally. If you remember the polio vaccine, they are given orally also and they are injected also. Unfortunately, till now we don't have any vaccine for the coronavirus, but we will pray to God that soon we will have the vaccination for the coronavirus and we will be able to save. You must have observed that many a times our food gets spoiled by different microbes. For example, if bread is kept in a warm and moist place, it gets covered with a greenish grey mold. Similarly, if we leave milk in a warm place for a long time, it sours and gets spoiled. Jams, pickles and fruits are examples of some common foods which are affected by fungal growth. Foods containing a lot of moisture get spoiled easily because the microorganisms prefer moist conditions for their growth. Reducing the moisture content increases the shelf life of many foods. Have you ever thought how we can prevent our food from the attack of these microorganisms? Why does your mother boil milk before drinking? Why do we keep our food items in the refrigerator? All these are different methods by which we protect and preserve our food items. Giving suitable physical or chemical treatment to prevent spoilage of food is called food preservation. Now there are certain methods which we can use to preserve our food from spoilage. Let us study a few of these. Chemical method. Food can be prevented by using certain chemical substances which can check the growth of microorganisms. Such chemical substances are called food preservatives. Sodium benzoate, citric acid and potassium metabisulfite are some common food preservatives that we are using in our food item. Sodium benzoate is used for preserving fruit juices and squashes. Potassium metabisulfite is used for preserving cut fruits, jam, jellies, etc. Citric acid is used as a preservative in confectionaries. So this is a chemical method by which we can preserve our food items. Now heat and cold treatment. Preservation by heating. Heating kills many microorganisms and prevents the food from spoilage. Some food items are preserved only through heating. For example, we can prevent the spoilage of milk for a long time only through boiling. Now, cold treatment by cooling or freezing the food item. Food like fruits, vegetable, meat and cooked food are kept at low temperature in the refrigerator or deep freezers to prevent their spoilage. Low temperature prevents the spoilage of food because it retards the growth of the microorganism. Now, how we can preserve the food? By adding common salt to it. Preservation by common salt. For ages, people have preserved fish and meat by salting. Meat and fish are covered with common salt to prevent the growth of microbes. Salting draws out water from food, thus prevents microbial growth and reproduction. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. Now, what is pasteurization? Pasteurization, it is a process for preservation of milk. In this method, milk is heated at about 70 degrees centigrade for 15 to 30 seconds to kill the bacteria present in it and cooling it quickly to 10 degrees centigrade to prevent the remaining bacteria from growing. The milk is then stored in sterilized bottle or pouches in cold places. Pasteurized milk can be consumed without boiling because it is free from harmful microorganisms. This method was invented by Louis Pasteur in 1862. Now the next method is canning or vacuum packing. Food items, they are first heated at a high temperature to kill bacteria and they are supposed to obtain a sterilized food. The sterilized food is then sealed in airtight cans to prevent reinfection by microorganisms. This air-free packing is also called vac. Let's study about nitrogen cycle now. The cyclic process of nitrogen being fixed, used by plants and animals and later returned to the atmosphere is referred to as the nitrogen cycle. It involves following steps. Nitrogen fixation, nitrogen assimilation, ammonification, nitrification and denitrification. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. Plants and animals, they cannot take atmospheric nitrogen directly. It has to be first converted into useful nitrogen compounds which can be easily absorbed. So, the conversion of free atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous compound is known as nitrogen. Nitrogen fixation occurs by following two ways. Lightning. When lightning strikes, then nitrogen and oxygen of atmosphere react and form oxides of nitrogen. Nitric acid reacts with limestone in the soil and converts it into nitrates. Biological nitrogen fixation. The rhizobium bacteria that are present in the root nodules of the leguminous plant, they fix the atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into nitrogen compounds. Now, second process in this cycle is nitrogen assimilation. The process of conversion of inorganic nitrogen compounds into organic compounds that become a part of the living organism is called nitrogen assimilation. Third step in nitrogen cycle is ammonification. When plants and animals die, the protein present in them are converted into ammonium compounds by the putrefying bacteria and fungi found in the soil. This process is called ammonification. We can define ammonification as conversion of complex organic compounds like protein into ammonia. Then fourth step is nitrification. Ammonium salt in the soil is converted first into nitrites by nitrosomonas bacteria. The nitrites are then converted into nitrates by nitrobacter bacteria. These bacteria are called nitrifying bacteria and this process is called nitrification. So, nitrification is the conversion of ammonia into nitrates. Fifth and the last step is denitrification. Some of the nitrates are absorbed by plants. Rest of the nitrates in the soil are converted by pseudomonas bacteria into nitrogen gas again, which escapes into the atmosphere. The conversion of nitrates into free nitrogen gas by denitrifying bacteria is called denitrification. Thus, the nitrogen cycle maintains a percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere more or less constant. So here we have come to the end of this chapter, microorganism. Here on the last page you are getting this worksheet 1. So in this some questions are given which I want you to answer in your science register. I hope you will get all the answers in the videos. If you will listen them carefully, you will get all the answers in the two videos. So solve these questions in your fair science register. Thank you. All about today class. We will meet tomorrow now again, and the things that we have done in the class, just listen this video very carefully because very soon you will get some questions which will be related to this chapter and definitely you will get all the answers from my videos. So thank you.